What you doing?
I'm shredding sinew.
What you gonna do with it?
Well, when you shred this material down to individual fibers, or as close as you can get to that, you apply it to the back of the bow, you know, the composite bow we're working on, so that it strengthens the bow, makes it more durable, and reduces the chance of breakage. Once you get it worked down and you apply it with a hide glue, it's almost like having fiberglass on it on the back of the bow.
Cool.
We'll get that done, and then we'll put horn on the belly of the bow. The sinew resists tension, the horn compression, so that you've got a good strong bow that ought to be durable too.
Nice.
Yep.
Did you make this out of these weird little headless dolls?
That's a piece of tendon like this one. And yes, when you process these, you wind up with this, and then you continue to work this down, like I say, to get it as close to individual fibers as possible, as long a fiber as possible, so that mixed with the hide glue, it makes a material that can be put on the back of the bow and provides strength, durability, and resistance to breakage.
Have fun.
Thank you, I will. This composite bow project is one experiment after another. In this case, we're experimenting with making sinew. I bought beef tendon at a local store, and I'm going to use that to make the sinew for the backing of the composite bow. I have processed deer sinew on hand, so that can be used as a default. But I really wanted to try making sinew out of this beef tendon because it was readily available and it was a good experiment. After a wash in some detergent and water to degrease the tendon, I bring my little ulu knife to bear to remove the meat, fat, and the sheath that's around the tendon, so that what I have left is usable tendon material that can be dried and then converted into sinew. The ulu knife is a tourist item from Alaska, but even at that, it's the sharpest knife I think I own and works very well for this project. With the bulk of the meat and fat removed, it's time to cut away the sheath that surrounds the tendon and leave the material that is going to be useful for making sinew. got arthritic joints in your hand, you have to exercise special care when you're working with something as sharp as this little ulu. One tendon cleaned, 2 more to go. The basically cleaned tendons are rinsed again in the detergent water to further degrease and are then inspected for any remaining bits of sheath or fat, anything that needs to be removed, so that all we're working with is thoroughly cleaned tendon. The thoroughly cleaned tendon is tied to a string so it can be hung outside to completely dry in the breeze and sunshine. After only a couple of days, the tendon is pretty well dry. Another day or two and it will be completely translucent and ready to process. Gently pounding and flexing the dried tendon prepares it to be separated into segments, and then those segments further separated into fiber bundles of sinew.
I use an X-Acto knife to cut a section of the tendon so that I can easily pull off a strip of interconnected sinew fibers. These relatively wide sinew strips are further reduced by pulling off smaller and smaller sections from the same sinew strip. Even with all the cleaning, there will probably still be a paper-thin coating that needs to be removed for the proper separation of the sinew fibers. One disadvantage of the beef tendon is that it produces much shorter fibers than the deer tendon. The object is to go from dried tendon to coarsely separated sinew fibers, and from those coarsely separated sinew fibers to try and reduce the material almost to individual sinew strands. Through repetitive division and subdivision of the coarse sinew fibers, we multiply the volume of the individual sinew fibers available for use. I wasn't kidding when I said repetitive. It seems like this separation and sub-separation goes on forever, but it's worth the work. From the 3 pieces of beef tendon, I produced enough sinew fibers to fill a gallon-sized Ziploc bag. That'll be plenty for the bow project. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Also, please leave constructive comments. We'd love to hear from you. And tune in again for additional videos in the completion of this composite horse bow project.